Hello friends, welcome to Intuites.
Let's begin the class.
I told you to import the RSS file and do the transformation.
Yes, Samir, I could able to do it, but not at the Azure level. I completed the till from the database level, changing, renaming the columns and all those things. In the Spark code level that I did it.
Then what left exactly?
Yeah, actually, I'm facing some issue with the Azure subscription. I just need to recreate it because the earlier one got expired. I need to recreate it. After that, I will try test that one.
Okay.
Yeah, like earlier that everything was in the raw folder and we need to put it back into the processing folder, right? That's the
Correct,
famous.
correct. Okay. What about others? Not started.
Yeah, this is Nidhi Samira. I'll do it today or tomorrow. I haven't attended last class on Monday, so I just saw the recording, so I'll still have to finish it. I'll finish it.
Okay. Next, let's say these are the two insertion happen. I'm leaving to you guys to do this one, the RSS file. That's fine. If any issues, just let me know. I will do that again next class. Okay. Next, I want to just showcase. I will not do completely because all the transformation will be remain same day only. So let's take ingestion. What is that? Next file, something like that. I will there. Structures ingestion. There is another file in there. If you go to your raw folder, there is another file called constructors. Okay, and this is in the form of a JSON, right? So I'll show you one JSON, a slightly different variation of JSON, so that you can also familiar with how to work with the JSON file. Okay, so the first thing first, how to see the content of my construction file, which is there on my raw folder on the Azure. How to do that in Spark?
By using display.
Okay, display inside that what I need to give. I just want to see the construction JSON file, the content. So review utils.fs mounts. Let's take the mount point. We'll see what are the mount points I have. Wrap it around my method. And this is the file, right? Mount projects RAS DL, right? So I will say db utils dot fs dot ls, and inside that we put this, correct? So I have one file called constructor.json, right? This is the file I was talking about. So let's take this. This the display. Okay, sorry, we need to read this file. Sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So this is the file I want to read it. Okay. So let's try and understand. Let's open this file, my construction file. Let's open this. So this is a JSON file, complete JSON file here. Okay. So I have my constructor ID, constructor reference, name, nationality, then the URL. These are the four columns I have. Okay. So let's do it. So first of all, you know that. So whenever I'm working on a file, I need to create the schema first, right? Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you know that the schema I created through the normal way, the struct field, struct type, everything I have done it. And I told you that there are two ways to create the schema. One is that the first way which we discuss, the struct field and struct type. Another one we can create through the DDL schema. That name is called the DDL schema. I'll show you the syntax how to create the DDL way. So let's create it. So the first I'm saying constructors underscore schema. For to that, I will say percentage and just a heading, right? Create schema. So now I can do directly. So I will put a double quote, and inside that I will put my all the values. This is where they call the DDL one. So the first column I will take it from here. So let's take this my first column, which is construction ID. Okay. So I will say I think this empty, then comma, then I need to take constructor reference, which is string. Okay, then comma, and I have my name, string again. Okay, and finally I have my comma, nationality, so string, comma, URL. URL also it is a string. URL which is also string. This is the way you can create another way of creating the schema. So within the double quotes, you need to just type it column name, data type, column name, data type, column name, data type. This is also another way to create this. This is the called the DDL schema. This is the syntax is called the DDL schema. Okay, it done now. My construction schema is ready. Now I will read the file. Now reading is correct, right? Reading is simple, right? Read the JSON file. Okay. Now we'll just create this data frame here. Constructor underscore df. First, what I need to do to read the file? Which command I need to
Spark.read.json.
set? So spark.read, and how to go to the next line, and it will continuation of that code. How to write that?
Slash backslash.
Correct. Yes. Then I will put first my schema, right? Right? Schema is nothing but my schema, right? Then dot. This time I will use the JSON rather than the CSV, right? And I will use that I need to take it. I forgot the what is the path mount. Something was there, no? Sorry. Let me check it. Okay. To start mounts. First of all, I need to check it. I should have copied that. Copied. Yeah. Oh, sorry. So this is the path where my JSON is available. So this is my JSON. Right? Make sense? Now let's read this. Done. Now take the data frame. Reading the construction ID, construction reference, name, nationality, and how to see the schema of this data frame? How to see the underlying schema for this data frame? Hello?
Yes, Samir, I'm just checking the notes.
Okay. dot print schema, right? Dot print schema, data frame dot print schema. This is the one. So integers, string, 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 and string. Correct. So this is another way you can define your schema. Make sense?
Yes, this one seems easy compared to that structure one. Which one is we will use in the project majority of the times?
Both type we will get it, but I prefer the struct way because that is more professional. Like there you can define anything. So here also you can do like this, but this is more of a lengthier process. Like normally you need to write. So that's both are fine. Anything is fine. There is no harm of doing like this or that type. So instead of performance wise as well. Okay. Now what I was saying that okay. Now let's display again PDF. Now earlier when I was trying to leave this URL field, that what I was doing, I was selecting, right? I was selecting this column, this column, this column, and this column, and I'm not selecting this column, right? So this is the way we have done in the first file, correct? Now I will show you that instead of doing that, let's drop the column URL. Whichever column is not required, just drop it so that I will get the required column into my data frame. Make sense? Okay. So for that, what I need to do is that let me introduce a few things here. This is done. Now let it be. And let's create the MD. Finally, I'll delete that other one. Now I will say drop unwanted columns. Drop unwanted columns and insert few new columns. Both at a time we will do it. Okay. One step. So let's create the few function. I want to just import it. So let's say from PySpark dot SQL dot functions. Okay. Import. I want to import the column. Last time we discussed this and current timestamp. So for the ingestion this. Okay. So that's done. Now I want to just delete it. So I will say constructor underscore df underscore drop. Okay. So I will take my constructor dot df dot drop method. I will use this. Okay. So to drop any particular column, we need to use the drop transformation. Okay. You have drop duplicates as well. We will see. These are all almost similar to the pandas only. Drop NA, drop duplicates. I think we'll discuss everything here. So drop, then I will use my call function, and inside that I will put my URL. That's it, whichever column is, I want to drop it. Let's see this. Okay. Now, if I take this and display, can used, I will get the required column which is there. Only the 4 columns. Make sense? Is it make
Yes.
sense?
Yes.
Okay. Fine. This is done. So let me just delete it. Now we can start doing the insertion as well. Okay. So my new data frame is here. Now I will create the final one, the constructors final underscore the df. Okay. So this is coming from my drop. Now I will rename the columns, and along with that I will create a new column as well at one go. Okay. So first of all, to rename the column, what should I use? So I want to
With
rename the with
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 call
what?
with column.
Huh?
See
With
with
column
column renamed.
with column renamed, right? Right, exactly. Okay, so I will say like this. First I will use with column renamed. as my constructor ID. I will make it as a, I will say constructor ID. I want to make it as constructor underscore ID. Okay. Yes. The first one. Now I will say the next one. Another row with column renamed. This time I will take my constructor reference. Constructor reference, and I will say constructor underscore reference. So this is the two columns which I want to rename it, and along with that I want to create a new column called ingestion date. How do I do to do for that? Which transformation I should use to create a new column?
For the insertion date, we need to import a new library called.
What?
After that, got insert for the insertion date. You want new column
Ah,
with insertion date, right?
already I
Okay.
have imported the current timestamp. Yeah. So I was just wondering like how to create the new column. Which
Dot
transformation I should use?
with
Ah,
column
yeah.
name.
With column. With column. Okay. So in one go also we can uh, use multiple transformation. That's what I was showing it here. It's not like I will use with column rename first, then I will use the with column to create a new column. At one go also we can create at one go, like rename and even the new column insertion. And with column, you just remember that if you create a new column here, then it will create a new column. Suppose the existing column, if you do something there, then it will replace that column as well. Later I will show that. But here, if I say ingestion date, right? Or insertion date, sorry. Insertion, let's put date. So this is the insertion date, and I will use my current timestamp. That's it. Now,
C should be capital Samir with column for the insertion date.
okay, he didn't take the intelligence, right? Okay, good job. Yeah, that's the one. Now it is done. Now we can display it and finally we can write it. That I am not doing it. That you guys need to do it. This is your final data. This looks like this. And oh, insertion underscore date. Okay. So this we need to write it back to the process folder with the Parquet format. Done. So this is the way we can read a normal JSON file. Make sense? As of now, any
Yes.
questions? Okay. Now another file which I want to show you, which is slightly tricky in the JSON objects. We'll see that object also. That file is called.
Samir,
Go
I
ahead.
have a question, Samir. So, okay, so we are using this thing, right? By one command at a time, right? If we go
Hmm.
to the project implementation, how this will be works? We need to put like that, or how the real time it will be work in the projects? How we need to code it?
Code is the same way. It is the code.
Same way,
We need
but
to write
not
it.
in this, right? You have to do it in the same way.
Yeah, same way only. Only thing is we need to schedule this. The workflow is we will do that. That is
Okay,
noted
okay.
that.
I got confused because we are practicing in
So
this
this
way, right?
is
So, okay, how
this is the
this really?
way. So on the left hand side there is a workflow is there. There we need to trigger this each notebook.
Okay,
So
okay,
so
got it.
that will auto execute.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so now, okay, this is done. Now I want to just show you one file, which is I think called my drivers.json. I think I have opened that. So if you go to driver.json file, now here things are different here. So if you have a driver ID, driver reference, then I have the name. Name is again it's a the inside it is there is a nested JSON. Like the name, I have a forename and surname. Then there is another one. So this is a nested JSON, nested, right? So inside that first few columns are normal, and inside that again there are some JSON objects are there. Okay, so this we need to handle in a different way. When you have this kind of file in JSON in your Databricks, you need to find a different way to handle it, because one schema will be not helpful here, because one schema I need to define for other columns, and one schema I need to define for the name as well, so that I can read it properly. That I will show you. I will just show you the schema declaration, and rest of the things we need to take care. Okay, make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go to the workspace and add a new file. I think I messed up the naming convention, but we can do that. Okay, it should be proper. Let me do that. Ingestion of
And
driver
one more
files.
thing, Samir, these JSON files are not displaying to us in a readable format. Could you please send them in a via the drive, Google Drive?
Why the raw zip file? If you extract it, you will get it everything, right? And you can
No,
right click on that.
we got it only for the circuits and races. For this JSON files, last time also we faced this issue, and you sent it via the email, via the drive. You
What
shared it.
what what error you are getting?
Yeah, it's like DS underscore store is there, right? Like that. It is not in a display format.
You can right click on that and you can open with, and you can select notepad or something, it will work out.
Okay, okay,
By default, mine system is handle in notepad plus plus, so it is taking up. It's not like that.
okay.
Okay, so first of all, I will say let's create name schema. First, we will create the first schema, which is nothing but my name schema. So in my name schema, I had two columns. One is my forename and my surname, right? So this is the way it is there. So let's create, first of all, insert some libraries from Spark, SQL. What happened? There is no intelligence types. What happened? Why is nothing is coming? SQL dot types import. Uh, Import. Let's take struct field. Uh, why it is not coming here? Don't know. It's connected to this one struct field. This is hard to write, right? If it is, license is not there. Struct type, then some integer type, and some string type,
String type.
and some double type. There were a few things I want to just import it. Let's import this.
Spelling of from is different. Mistake. You wrote from
Okay.
instead of from.
Yeah, I think due to that only this one is not working. Okay, that's good. Okay, now it is done. Now I will define my name underscore schema first. Okay, you know that what the syntax to do that? Please guide me. How to use the struct type to create the name schema? Please somebody please go ahead.
Struct type
Mm-hmm.
fields equal to
Struct type, then bracket, right?
parenthesis. Yeah, parenthesis. Fields equal to
Mm-hmm.
within the open bracket struct field list of the fields and their data type.
Like this, right?
Yes.
In the square bracket. Okay. Good
Yes.
job. Yeah. So I have two columns. First of all, I need to take my this column, the forename. So I will say inside that I will define here.
After open bracket struct field, we need to specify
Correct.
these are the list
Correct.
of the fields. Struct field.
Correct. 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 I am doing it. So the field equals to then I will say column. So this is my forename. It will be string type. It is the way
Samir,
first one. Go ahead. Sorry.
after struct field, we need to keep open parenthesis, not equal to.
Open parenthesis like this. You're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Correct, huh? Like this, huh? Um, yeah, I think correct. You are correct. Right, right. Now it is correct.
Yes, Samir.
Okay, good job. Okay, so now the next one. So I will create another one here. So the same way. This time I will say the surname. These are the two schema. First of all, I need to create it. Done. So I have created the first is my name schema. Fine. These are the two columns only. Enter it. Done. Now let's copy this and we will create the final schema now. Okay. We will create the final schema. This final schema I will give as name called driver underscore schema. Okay. So I have first column in my driver is called my driver ID. Right? Driver ID. So this will be my integer type. And next column I have is called my driver reference. String type only. That's correct. Absolutely. Sorry. I just entering. Okay. Driver reference is done. Now next is my name. Driver reference is done. I think number. Sorry. There is a number also there. Number. The number column is there. So it will be integer type. Then I have a code. It will be string type only. Okay. Now here when I'm defining the name, rather than defining like this, instead of like schema and all, right? I will say name equals to. Already I have the name schema that I will define here. This is the one change you guys needs to be done here clear. Okay. So what is the error I'm getting here? So the one changes you need to do it. When we have a nested, what do you call it? Nested schema. Okay. Already we have defined the schema that I will use it now. Okay. So and after that, to say what is that? DOB. DOB is my Compute this. So DOB will be my date type. We have not imported the date type. Okay, sorry. Instead of double type, I should have used the date type here. Sorry. Put it, and I will use here date type. Is it making sense what I'm doing it? See, if you are silent, either two things can be happen. If you're not able to understand what I'm saying, you're able to understand everything. Where is that?
Yes, Samir, we are understanding.
Should be a type. What other columns I have? URL. Okay, URL. That will be string there. Make sense? So now let's try to execute this. What I'm missing here? Why it is not taking? Is this not executed?
Yeah,
Got
initially
it.
also we got the error there in the name schema. It
Yeah.
is saying that argument data type.
Okay. Let's see that. It may be somewhere. I'm not able to. Let me try. Like this maybe. Sorry. The column name, comma, the data type, right? So I'm doing column, comma, instead of writing the data type, I'm referring back to the schema which is already defined with the name schema. Okay. Now set enter. It will work. Okay. Now this is done. Now let's read the file. You know that how to read the file, right? How to read the file? Can somebody tell me?
Park dot read dot
Correct. So
avron.
read, correct. Read drivers. So let's take. First of all, let me. I forgot again the mount points. This the mount. Get the mount points. Okay, sorry. Where is that? Yeah, this one. Okay, less. Then put it. And this time we are planning to take this file. Okay, remember this file. So this is my file. Okay, I will want to read it. Make sense? Now what I do here? Say drivers underscore df equals to spark dot read. Correct? Then
Yes.
dot schema. At that, which schema I need to give? The final schema, not the name schema. Okay. So this is my final schema, which is all the driver underscore schema, right? And sorry, and dot JSON. Then inside that, I need to give this one. Right? That's it. So it should work. Yeah. Now, if I display play drivers underscore df, execute this. It looks like this. You see here, Now driver ID, driver reference number code is there, and in the name it is a struct type because here is a forename and surname. Now your job is to just one thing. When you are creating the new column, right, you need to take out these two columns into two separate columns. One is my forename and one will be my surname from this column. That we need to do it. Just try it out from your end whenever you have a time. Makes sense, right? What I have done it here. Are you good?
Yes.
So here the additional job would be, so we need to create the insertion date at any cost, and this name, whatever the type it is there, it should be splitted into two columns. One is your first name, last name. Make sense? You can try it out. If not, do let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, and even if you see the print schema for this, you will able to understand that if you see all are string integer, but when you come to the name, it is a struct type. Inside the two columns are there. One is for name and surname, both are string. So this is data type of the name is called struct because we have referred the name schema inside this. So this can be possible. So when you have a nested schema in case of JSON, right? So you need to define the outer schema first, then we can refer back to the original schema into that. So this is the way we can deal it. So this is one of the real-time scenario. Make sense?
Yes.
Correct? Yeah. And even another file I have the results of JSON. It is very straightforward. Okay. It's a normal JSON. Read it and put it back to the process folder. I'm not creating that file. So you need to create the results file as well. So that also will be exercise for you to work on that. And that is a very simple file. There is nothing there. Okay. So you know what is the task you need to do, right? First of all, you need to complete the races file, the CSV file. Then I have done the drivers one. I just showed you till the schema. You need to create the particular columns and put it back. Then in the constructor files, and in the drivers files, I just show you that how to create the two schema. Then finally, we need to just the way to find out the columns. Okay. Another one which is very important in JSON, that is another one that is called my pit stop file. Okay, there is a pit stop file, JSON file is there. I think I have opened that. So let's go to pit stop. So if you see the driver.json file and pit.stop.json, what the difference we are getting here? Just see, this is the driver.json and this is one. What difference we are getting here? Instead of by look and feel, are you
Yeah,
getting different?
here we are getting us dictionary.
Dictionary type
Correct.
data.
Correct. Here you have all the details are on a single line. If you refer to the first row, it is my first row only, right? One line, one columns, one heading, one line by line it is there. Whereas in the pitstop.json, it is multi-liner. Like each column is in a multi-liner. So this is called a multi-liner JSON file. So when we have a multi-liner JSON file, the handling would be different, okay, in Databricks. Let's see that in action. So again, I will just go through that like the normal way. So let's try to do that. So add a new file, notebook, and you will do the ingestion of the results files also, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the results file 5, and this one, the pit stop file is the 6 file. So all 6 files needs to be done. Another 2 is there that I will take care. I will do it from my end. Don't worry. Okay. But this 6, all 6 needs to be completed. Okay.
Okay, Samir.
Yeah. Okay.
Samir, for reading the XML file, is there any different syntax or is it the same way?
I'll show you XML also. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, I'm not putting the heading, wedding, and all. You can do that. So let's create directly the schema. Okay. So I will say fit underscore stops underscore scale. Okay, and let's do it the detailed way as well this time. Okay, so my res ID would be integer, then my driver ID will be integer, comma, stop is integer, then my lap is also integer. In this one, when you do the what you call the races file now, this will come. You will get it. So we have a time and then we have a duration in this case, and we have a milliseconds. Okay. So this all this file just read it in a string format. Then time, duration, and millisecond I will combine it and I will create a new column called timestamp. Okay. So this is the way you should read it because there is no time rather in data type in database. Okay, so whenever you will got this kind of thing, just read it through a string only. Okay, this is also one exercise you need to do it. Duration is also I'm reading it as a string only as of now, and milliseconds also I'm reading it as an. Okay, so these are the files I have. Okay, now let's enter it. Okay, now I will stop data frame. Normally, what I will do, spark dot read dot read. Then normally what I will doing? Tell me guys how to do that. Again, I'm asking this question. Are there?
Specify schema name.
Correct. I'm repeating because this will be practice for you guys. Okay. And normally when you are reading the file, normal JSON file, we are saying dot JSON, right? And we are taking the mount point from there and we're just keeping it. So let's take that file somewhere. The path. Okay, I want that. So go to the workspace and put stop indentation and put it back here. But instead of the construction files, I need to take pit stop. This is mine. Pit stop.json. Okay. I'm doing a cheating, but it's fine. I can just it's file .json. Normally we are doing like this, right? Whenever you are running the JSON file. Now enter it. What happened here? Oh, it is not taking the integers. What mistake I have done it here? Okay. Okay. Now expected thing is now normally this is the way we are dealing. I showed you two JSON file, and if I put display here, what the expectation here? What should it give you? The data wise, right? My expectation is now to get the data from this data frame. Correct? Say yes or no.
Yes.
Everybody is on the same page, but let's see. We'll get all the data as null. What is the problem? Okay, so that's what the syntax is. Here it is the file is a multi-liner JSON. When you have a multi-liner JSON, normally in Databricks, the default way to read the JSON file is in this way. When you have a line in a single line. If you have a multi-line, by default Databricks will not able to read the multi-liner JSON file. And if you try to read this in this way, then it will show it will say that it will give you the data as null, 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 and null normally. Make sense? So for that, we need to use one option. So whenever you have a multi-liner JSON, so we need to say dot option. Inside that, I need to put multi-line equals to true. Then only by default this option is actually false. Okay? By default it is the false one. If you say multi-line equals to true, then it will consider the JSON file as a multi-liner and it will read line by line, line by line. Okay? Hit enter. Now if you read this now, what happened? Still it is not coming. And then it will get it. One sec, let me check. Multi-line equals true only. Stop.json. Why?
Syntax for the multi-line, is it a correct, Samir?
Mhm.
TI is there.
Oh, okay. Multi-line. Correct. Sorry, my spelling mistake. Multi-line. I think now it should work. See now, we are able to read the data in a multi-line. So this is the option we should use whenever you have the JSON called a multi-line. Make sense? So I have showed you different variation of the JSON. Correct? One is the nested I showed you. One will be the multi-line. So these are the different variations you will get in a real time when you are working on a JSON file. Make sense? Now here you need to insert a ingestion date. Are you noting down the requirement or how is that? No, you can remember, right? By heart. Okay. Anyway, so ingestion date or the insertion date we need to insert it, and this time, duration, and millisecond. These three columns I want to convert to a timestamp. Combination of these three. Okay, so this is another requirement. So few requirements are which is new for you, which I not discussed because I want you to have a try that one. If not, we will do that. So totally how many files you want to insert it with all the requirement? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Abdul. And another file is called the results file, which I have not done it because it's very straightforward files. The results. So this 6 insertion needs to be completed from your end to the process folder. Making sense? Did it make sense?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So once you complete that, then we will move to the next step because there is another folder. In these two folders are there, no, lap times or qualifying. So if you go to qualifying here, I have splitted JSON. So files are split into two files. How we can insert back that? That also we need to see it. Okay. So, and finally, we will start from there the process file. Make sense? So I will stop it here, I think. So let's do the all the 6 ingestion properly and come back. Can you complete by tomorrow? Everybody, all the insertion, all 6 files. Will it be done?
We'll try, Samir.
What about others?
Yeah, we'll try. Okay, because so weekdays, the busy days, the morning times.
No, fine. It will not take more than, if you sit properly, it will not take 1 hour.
Okay, sure, Samir.
Please take care. Okay. So that the next chapter which I am planning to discuss, so that it will be continuation to that. So tomorrow, if you are stuck anywhere, I will have my all 6 file ready with all the transformation. All, if you want, I can just give it back to you as well, so that you can check the codes. That's fine. But don't rely on the codes that which I will give you, but try to solve it on your own. Okay. So it will be a good practice for you. Okay. So let's stop it here, and tomorrow we'll meet.